welcome to another episode of Birding with Border. So today is July 23rd, so we're right smack in the height of summer here in San Diego County. So where are we going to go birding today? Well, being it's summer, the desert and the Imperial Valley is going to be way too hot for birding. Along the coast, shorebirds are only beginning to trickle in on their migration back here to winter here. Wintering waterfowl is still two or three months away from arriving. So during the hot summer months, I like to go birding in the mountains. And today, specifically, we're going to the Laguna Mountains, which lie about a 30-minute drive east of downtown San Diego. So that's where we're headed out to this morning, and I'll talk to you later. So I've pulled off to a rest area here along Interstate 8, and as we watch the sunrise over the mountains, I want to talk a little bit about why I like to get an early start when I go birding. Foremost is I find that birds are most active in the couple hours after sunrise, especially on a warm morning. When insects start getting active, the birds are going to be active because insects are a food source for the birds. Number two, I like to use the warm early morning light. Really lights up subjects for photography and videography. Number three, to beat the crowd. So what birds do we hope to see this morning? Well, hopefully we're going to see some summering flycatchers. Be nice to see some summering grosbeaks and tanagers, and then of course there's all the year-round resident mountain birds, such as mountain chickadee, white-breasted nuthatch, the two jays, Steller's jay and California scrub jay. Probably see some northern flickers and our old friend the Acorn Woodpecker. So it looks like it's going to be a beautiful morning here in the mountains. We've got East Street Radio playing on the Sirius XM. Looking forward to a good day. Because the Laguna Mountains are part of the Cleveland National Forest, something you need to know if you're planning to go to the Lagunas is that you will need a National Forest Adventure Pass in order to park at any of the trailside parking lots. A daily pass can be bought for just $5, or if you're like myself and you're going to be going multiple times, you can buy an annual pass for $30. The passes can be purchased online, or again, like myself, you could go to Mount Laguna and go to the Laguna Mountain Lodge and Store to make the purchase. So we've got our adventure pass right here. Let's go ahead and we'll hang it on a rear view mirror. And so we made it to the entrance to the trailhead here at Sunset Trail. So I think we're ready to go. Let's go birding. Let me take a minute to show you the route I'll be covering this morning. I'll be starting at the trailhead that you see at the bottom of the map. Once across the cattle guard a short distance, we'll be picking up the Sunset Trail to our left. That'll take me toward the very western edge of the Laguna Mountains. From there, I'll be starting the descent down to a small pond where we pick up the Big Laguna Trail. We'll take Big Laguna Trail through the Laguna Meadow into another wooded patch, and then back to our starting spot. So our first bird this morning is a northern flicker. You can see it perched up here on this branch. Light isn't totally up yet to get a really nice look at it, but nice bird to see first thing. A couple of handsome sparrows early on our walk today. The funny thing about the lark sparrow is its diagnostic field mark is that it has every field mark of sparrows. So I'm stopped here because come up on several lesser goldfinches feeding on seeds here. Oh, here it went. So being mid-July, most of the wildflowers have seen their better days. Probably hasn't rained up here in the lagunas in a couple months. And I believe we've come across some monkey flower along the trail. If I'm incorrect, you can correct me in the comment section. So I'm seeing some bluebirds up here at in this clearing. So we're gonna head on up here and see if we can't get a little closer. Of course, it's kind of hard sneaking up on birds when you've got pine cones being trampled underneath your feet. But let's see if we can't get a little closer, get some video of these bluebirds. So we've come to a section of the trail here that's got a cactus growing. And I just find it interesting that you'd find cactus growing at 5,000, 6,000 feet, whatever elevation we are here right now in the lagunas. Looks like beaver tail cactus to me, but I'm no plant expert. So this is a really nice section of the Sunset Trail, and I imagine it's how it gets its name, Sunset Trail, because we're looking west. So I imagine you could get some really nice sunset shots here, and what you're seeing here is the next range west, which is the Laguna Mountains. So I'm going to see if I can climb up here on this boulder without hurting myself. I think I did it. Continuing on, when I came upon this California ground squirrel, it was taking a dirt bath along the trail. Of course, as soon as I put the camera on it, it froze. Next up was a short visit with our old friend, the Acorn Woodpecker. One of my favorite birds to see in the mountains is the Dark-eyeg Junco. This one certainly was doing a lot of preening. Maybe it just wanted to look good for the camera. I finally finished my descent down to the Big Laguna Lake Trail, but before I pan over to the little pond that's here, I want to point out this spot and mention that it's such a good spot and reliable spot for seeing the Lawrence's goldfinch. And I think it's just a striking goldfinch, my favorite goldfinch in San Diego County.
And now we get a look at the little pond that's here. As far as birds on the water, I've only ever seen coots and mallards. Here's a striking flame skimmer. So I've come upon a water trough. You might be able to see it just over here, and it's probably for the cattle that free range in the Laguna Meadows here. But this morning it's been attracting birds. It's a warm morning, great spot for birds to get a drink. So far this morning I've seen, at this spot just alone, I've seen acorn woodpeckers, dark-eyed juncos, mountain chickadees, band-tailed pigeons, and also lesser goldfinches. So it's just been a great spot, and we're going to hang out a little bit longer. The band-tailed pigeon was a treat to see, but the most exciting moment of the morning happened soon after. A mother mule deer and her two fawns. The two fawns quickly disappeared, and it was back to the trail.
Something tells me that this signpost is a favorite perching spot. So we've just come up to a cattle guard here. The Laguna Meadow, which I'm going to show you, is a free range area for cattle, though I didn't see any bessies today.
Lucky for me, I didn't step in this. I've come across what looks to be a burned out tree trunk, and I'm wondering if I can fit in there and use that as a hide. So I'm gonna give it a try. Bingo! Now getting a much better look at our first bird of the morning, the northern flicker. The red mustache means that it's a male. And I'm guessing that this guy is probing for ants, as northern flickers eat more ants than any other North American bird. They also are a ground feeder, which makes them unique among woodpeckers. We've just about completed our loop this morning, as we're only about 200 yards from the trailhead.
So we're back in the car after our morning birding. It was a fair morning. Best bird for me, favorite bird I saw this morning for me was the band-tailed pigeon. I wish I could have gotten some true summering birds of the mountains on camera. I did see a black-headed grosbeak, and I think I heard a western wood pewee, but wasn't able to get the camera on either of those. So anyway, so now we're headed a few miles north to our second stop today, which is going to be Agua Dulce Trail. Pretty good trail for birds, so we're headed there. So I've arrived at Agua Dulce Trailhead parking lot here, and I'm gonna work the trees a few minutes, see see what I might see in the trees that can be good right here in the parking lot, and then I'm gonna hit the trail. So I'm not seeing much
And I'm not hearing much here on our trail. It's after 10 o'clock. After, as I said earlier in the day, that your best time for birding, of course, is earlier when the birds are more active, and it's after 10, and I'm not seeing a whole lot going on right now. So I think we're going to head back to the car and maybe try this spot tomorrow morning. Just get out here, just start here and get here a bit earlier. So I'm back this morning, back at the Agua Dulce trailhead, and we're going to see if we have a better day here today birding, where it's earlier in the morning. So let's go. The goal of these two to grow on this tree. So far, I'm having a pretty good morning of birding. I've had a house wren, several orange-crowned warblers, a downy or hairy woodpecker, and I just got finished trying to film some pygmy nuthatches, which is always a fun bird to see. Unfortunately, the only birds that I got on camera at all were the pygmy nuthatches, and I don't believe the footage is going to be good enough to use. So good birding so far this morning, but not good filming, as it is sometimes. Barely made it. Glad I didn't have a big breakfast. The goal of these two to grow on this tree.